Hello and a warm welcome to Arthouse. I'm Melinda Kinlami. Let's check out what we have lined up on this episode. An exclusive viewing of this solo exhibition at the Nomadic Art Gallery. Then a group exhibition by different African artists at the Windsor Gallery, also in Lagos. We'll give you details of this and more when Arthouse returns in a moment. Please stay with us.
You don't need attention to write. All you need is passion for your work and an overwhelming desire to tell a story you genuinely care about. Readers can sense your sincerity, and it separates you from pretenders.
Let's begin the show with this group exhibition called Stage of Africa at the Windsor Gallery in Lagos.
The Windsor Gallery in Lagos is bursting with vigor and flavor as it presents the inaugural exhibition of 7 creatives from across the continent in a show titled State of Africa, which takes its title from a book written by Martin Meredith in 2005.
This, in effect, is our 5th gallery. So we've just developed, an artistic, positioning today on showcasing what's happening on the continent. I felt over time that we have a very sort of nationalistic sort of view on what's happening in Nigeria, but we don't really have a continental regard to the African contemporary art scene. So I really wanted to bring as many artists from around the continent that sort of could show different techniques, different artworks, different points of view, and put them under one roof and bring that to Lagos.
The artists who work with different media tell us about their inspiration to create a variety of works of art that speak about their communities and recent happenings, which have found expression through these pieces.
Le travail que je présente aujourd'hui à Lagos a été inspiré par plusieurs choses.
The main focus on his work is human being and humanity. So what inspired him to do these paintings was, first of all, human being and all the humanity in every aspect of life. For example, in sport, in politics. So throughout his work, he wants to present humanity in sports, as you can see, and also in advertising.
Qui ont un lien direct avec le sport ou avec la publicité.
As an artist, what inspires me is everyday life, It's like being in Lagos here, the energy, and then seeing the contrast between yesterday when it was sunny and today there's the rain makes me feel like Abidjan, while being in New York, even it rains, it snows, there's no difference. So these things, these little, minute details about society and how we see ourselves and what we do are my inspiration.
I usually see my art as an experience itself. I don't work to be intentional with a subject or something. I work to have a different type of feeling while I'm working. And I usually have unexpected results by doing this. And this is what I like about my work, because I have no boundaries in what I do. Those particular works, to speak about the mediums, I work with coffee that you drink. I work with walnut powder. I work with natural pigments, oil, acrylic, spray bombs, burlap. It's a mixed media. It's a real mixed media. And all those elements comes from my experience, for where I live, where I was living, what I went through, what I touched. So you can see a lot of layers. It's quite an experience. My paintings are quite an experience.
my paintings are sort of a bridge between abstraction and figurative works, and also they tend to come as a form of child's play, which is illustrations. The works exhibited here are from different aspects of my life, an adult life, so to say. We've got some works here from when COVID happened, and I was going through a breakup at that period, and I just needed to document what that meant and what that felt like through one of the pieces here. And I have another piece here that was created off my residency in Ivory Coast, because I was in Ivory Coast last year. I had a residency. So the work also is just to document what that period was for me. And the piece behind me, Gentle Lady, also is to document, or to, I would say, to connote a timepiece in my life, which Gentle Lady is Salawa Benin song, which was usually played in the 90s at parties. And growing up with a single mom, going to parties with her, so that kind of music just resonated with me, and I just wanted to put that, express that through my works and my paintings.
The exhibition seeks to throw more light on the rich ingenuity that is within Africa, displayed in pictures, paintings, mixed media, sculptural pieces, and other images.
For me, we're African first, we're Nigerian second. I think it's important for us to support the artistic movement, the African artistic movement, and understand the talent, the vast talent that lies across Africa today. This idea of what art represents to one another, it has to be sort of greater than just the artistic vision. It has to be also a collective vision, a collective understanding, and building out a narrative of unity across Africa and an appreciation for what we have in Africa. We don't have to go outside to now see these pieces. We can have them at our doorstep, and I think it's important for us to be able to really push that and support each other. Whatever our Ivorian brothers are doing, whatever our Beninois sisters are doing, we come together under one roof and we develop the scene in Africa.
As expected, each artist is exploring subjects and topics that hit home since they're from diverse cultures and experiences.
I come from a background of street art, graffiti, and I studied tribal art, everything that's African, traditions and stuff. And I try to combine those three different worlds into my paintings. So as you can see, it's quite, it has a lot of information. Yes, I usually speak about my art like an enigma, where you have to watch each details, each part of the surface of the piece to understand the story I'm telling. And as you can see, there's different shapes and masks. The way I try to reinvent what I see through Africa, through where I come from, which is Ivory Coast. Everything you see is from my different experiences through many countries. I come from Ivory Coast, but I grew up in the United States, in Washington, D.C. I came back to Ivory Coast, and now I'm living in Morocco. So there's so much experience I'm having that's directly influencing my paintings.
This is part of the Migrant series. So this series is called The Migrant, and it's all about the different aspects of migration. So first it would be the migration in our lives, from being a baby to an old man. And then I'm using the term migrants also in the whole big polemic about African migrants. So to shine the light on the identity of the African. So as an African born in Ivory Coast, grew up there, did all my studies, I only spoke French, even though we have 60-some local dialects, which I didn't learn any of. So getting an Occidental education, doing everything, then going abroad and being facing, being a foreigner, because I'm from Africa, in fact. Even though everything inside seems Occidental, I'm African. So I've been looking for what it means to be an African, what it means to migrate, as this person with Occidental, how can I say, background and education to becoming more African, because I haven't done anything that could make me African, really. But I'm 100% African in my genes, and I grew up here. But I just felt more attracted to work on marble and do certain things that would just, in fact, give me the validation of the rest of the world, not really my peers. So this series is about that.
Before, the independence, there was a lot of meetings that were happening in parallel to create the African Union and this sort of thing. The book that inspired sort of the expo, it's Martin Meredith's book, which talks about post-independence Africa and sort of the issues that we've had since independence. Of course, this idea of collective Africanism was once an idea. But I think, of course, through the different coups d'etats, the different wars, the different things that we now had a fragmented reality that was disenfranchised from this unity of Africans coming together. So for me, it was about sort of taking that book and re-spinning it round and saying, now let's come together. Whether it's from the culture, whether it's art, whether it's music, Afrobeats, for example, is the most listened to music genre in the world today. It's a moment, it's a movement that I think that is important to support. Whether it's Nigerian Afrobeats or whether it's Amapiano in South Africa, it's African. And we are at the forefront, at the cusp of what's happening globally.
This convergence speaks to the African excellent talents that shine through regardless of the challenges that still abide.
Our wordsmith for this week is titled A Woman in Her Prime by Eke Osita. Site artwork by Ogechi Okore. There she sits so upright, draped in colorful clothes and beads. Her posture carries an aura of blatant shenanigan. It screams, "Keep off!" But her soul, as white as snow, beckons with open arms to all who are willing to glimpse inside. Her back turned to the loud whispers of men who wish to diminish her to crumbs. With the corner of her eyes, she catches the dancing of their lips and the twitching of their quizzical pupils. Her hair patterned like cornrows, interwoven into a brilliant. Dullness flows gracefully. Like a river through mountains, a subtle reminder of her sheer will. She aims at the stars beyond the horizon. Oblivious of the darkness between, she's a woman in her prime, colorful as the rainbow, with skin smoothened into a luster. She has crowned herself a goddess. She's now the prize. She sits as an epitome of womanhood. Serene yet powerful, chaotic yet stable, exuberant yet majestic. She's a woman in her prime, thrown into a dark pit, thus became the light.
Nice, a woman in her prime. Really intriguing words there by A.K. our wordsmith for this week. Thank you so much for that. Let's take a moment now. We get more when Arthouse returns. Stay with us.
And these are the works of art you sent in recently. Let's begin with this work called Letter to Rio. It's a charcoal, graphite pencil and acrylic work by Jones Promise. Then this oil on canvas work is titled Hope by Freeman Arts. All in my head, that's what Michael Adetula is saying with this mixed media on canvas piece. Then Dara has Let There Be Light, an oil on canvas work. Abest presents this oil and acrylic work called Saxophonist. Then Kenneth CJ has If They Only Knew, a charcoal and pastel work. The Hour Waits for No Woman is a mixed media work by Taiwo Oguntola. Then Tomiwa Adelagun has Unseen Journey, a mixed media work as well, on textured linen. Dance is music made visible. The color of dance, the first in the series, is what Oxino is presenting with this digital painting. And that concludes the works of art you sent in recently. We appreciate you for sending them in and encourage you to keep them coming.
Enlightened is a solo exhibition by Dudu Emmanuel at the Nomadic Art Gallery in Lagos.
The Nomadic Art Gallery in Lagos is the venue for the exclusive viewing for the works of art created by multimedia artist Dudu Emmanuel in a solo exhibition titled Enlightened, who begins by giving us an insight into his creative journey.
It started since 1999. I left Auchi Polytechnic and came to Lagos to start practicing, but eventually I still had that urge of having to study more. So I moved on to University of Lagos, where I did a bachelor's degree and subsequently a master's degree and another master's degree. And now presently pushing for a doctorate degree at the University of Benin. And all these years I've been practicing, trying to mix the practice and family and day-to-day activity, because I also have a small business. I'm into framing, still within the art business, but we also do framing.
His quest to improve his educational knowledge shines through with more than 30 exhibitions to his name. This recent one has been added to the kitty, exploring human thoughts and behavioral responses.
My work has to do with installations and painting, but for this exhibition we titled it Enlightened. The reason why we did this is that the curator decided to engage me, trying to check works that I've done and bodies of works I've done, because at every stage, maybe like every 5 years, I tend to delve from what I'm doing into a new angle of artistic approach. And the curator found that there's this, he wanted to document the change in chronology. So we had themes from social themes and the one that has to do with the economy and different things put together. But however, I tend to explore the humor of everything, because even if something is bad or something is good, there's always this beauty in it, and it's the beauty and the humor that I put together in order to bring out a piece such that it becomes a collector's item.
Documenting broken dreams and telling stories in a relaxed manner is what this artist is doing with an array of pieces, embellished with gold and white frames, which house the issues being explored as one motivated by the society.
In our culture, there's this belief that older people have a lot of wisdom and they would gain from the wisdom. But interestingly, if we have If we have a stupid young man, most likely that the stupid young man will grow into a stupid old man. But however, we have a way of respecting the elderly, believing that if you honor the elderly, chances are that you will equally grow old. So with that, I decided that, okay, let me put that into one of my compositions for the stage, and I made it look like the average Yoruba man. And of course, the average Yoruba man is intelligent and a bit cocky. So those are all the parts of the whole thing that I wanted to show. And I think to some extent I got it right. Then I also have the installation that is right behind me. And it has to do with broken bottles and an archaic camera to take a picture of it. And I titled it Documenting Broken Dreams, because I look at it and I see, okay, these youths, like their dreams are shattered. Interestingly, what is the device that is used in documenting their shattered dream is an archaic camera. So what it simply implies that those people that are supposed to carry the youth to the next level, that are supposed to help the youth get to the next level, they are so archaic that whatever the solutions they try to profile is nearly as outdated as the people trying to profile the solution itself. I think most of my artwork are self-explanatory. You can look at it and you just vividly get the story that is behind it. However, it's also open to people's opinion.
Works are they are lovely, and they are works, a body of works that carry messages, series of messages. Like when most of the time he deals with figures, female figures, and the rendition, when you look at it, it must tell you a story. And most of the time, it reminds you of a particular person. If you look closely, it reminds you of a particular person. Then there's one that is there, I think the primates, that is at the other hall now. Or like when he was doing it, I asked, why primates? Why do you have to do primates? And are you not throwing stones? I asked. He said, what stones am I throwing? I'm just doing the way it's coming to me and I'm rendering it. Then I think the third day I snapped with it. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to get you jealous. This primate, I'm getting to fall in love with it. He said, but you asked me that, why am I doing primate? What am I not trying to say is that you cannot stop it when it comes to him. His word speaks.
This artist has shown his prowess within the images displayed in this exhibition, and the art community will be looking forward to many more to come.
Interesting collection there. Now it's time to check out what we have lined up for you on the next episode of the program.
On Arthouse next week, Ghetto Impressions, a debut solo by Yakubu Karim at the signature Beyond Art Gallery, Lagos. Optics, a group exhibition by about 7 artists at the Co-Gallery, also in Lagos. We encourage you to keep liking, sharing, and viewing our page so more people can enjoy the ever bubbly and ingenious art scene in the country.
Your Arthouse experience doesn't have to end when the show is not on television. Interact with us on our various social media platforms. See any edition of Arthouse on our website or YouTube page. Join our very interactive Facebook page by joining the group on Arthouse on Channels. We're everywhere.
That's Arthouse this week. Thank you so much for being great company, and I look forward to interacting with you on our various social media platforms. I'm Melinda Akinlami, encouraging you to stay safe and keep being creative.